G'day everyone, my name is Isaac and welcome to round 6 of the Adrenaline GT GT3 Championship. We are here at wonderful Spa for all the Lobby B actions today, and I've got Chris alongside me. And Chris, we are set for a hell of a race today. If the other lobbies are anything to go off, this is going to be fairly action-packed here at Spa.
Oh yeah, Spa Francorchamps is very unforgiving, mate, especially going through Redillion on the opening lap. But yeah, thanks again, Isaac, once again for having me here to join you in the combox. And yeah, I do have to say, Spa can either breed a lot of great racing, but it can also bring out a lot of hard, heavy hitting and incident-full kind of races. So I do hope that we can all get together through this in one piece, but very, very excited to see how this one pans out, because the Pro-Ams have definitely been showing at the last few rounds, Isaac.
Yeah, they certainly turned it on last week at Bathurst. I think Justin's still coming down from that one and trying to unpack what he witnessed last week. So it's a pleasure to have you back in here with me. But let's have a look at our track map now. So we've got 7 kilometers of beautiful, glorious tarmac around here. 20 corners with 97 meters of elevation change. So not as much as the 174 we saw last week at Bathurst. We do have 40 meters going up the hill through Radion down the Camel Straight. So quite a steep uphill section there, a quick 40 meter elevation change as you do. 13 laps of running here at Spa with a mandatory soft tyre, so expect drivers to come in. We saw a couple drivers in Lobby A elect to not change tyres at all. That is the bold strategy, but I expect most drivers will go for the soft to soft tyre strategy. Action points for you to look at. If you get a nice run through turn 1, you could have a move into turn 1 if you were brave enough, but if you get a nice run out of turn 1, out of the source and up through Radion, you could get a nice slipstream down the Camel Straight and into the Combs, turns 7, 8, and 9, you could find yourself looking up the inside to potentially gain a place. If you get a nice run as well out of Huon at turn 12, turn 13, and 14, you can find yourself looking for some battles. So definitely look out for a couple of cars trying to make a move through there. And where it is crucial, the run through Blanchimont, turn 17 and 18, down towards the bus stop chicane, the final 2 corners on this track. They expect there to be a lot of moves, a lot of dive bombs, a lot of late braking into turn 19 as drivers try to fight for track position. I also expect the undercut to be fairly powerful today as well. Let's have a look at our grid order now. Aksaga lines up on pole this week, so plenty of pace in that GR Supra. Al Dusty lines up in second. I believe that is his best qualifying in Lobby B as well. Mr. Awesome in third. 666 prevails in fourth. BMF Pirate Ant 5th. OTR Stealth in 6th. Irish Rebel 7th. Ice Energy in 8th. We've got B Pert in 9th. L Hedges 10th. HC Renegade in 11th. Isaac Fogg a bit lower than we're used to seeing him in 12th. Madrick 13th. And COFR Grimdeath in 14th. And so, Chris, I think a couple drivers, a couple big names there, especially in terms of the championship points, struggling for pace in qualifying. So they'll be looking to try and make up places in the race.
For sure, Isaac, and I mean, with the nature of the tyre degradation here at Spa, with the lobby settings that we are running, we have definitely come to find out that 1 lap pace doesn't really necessarily translate over to race pace. So yeah, you are right, some of those guys just a little bit lower than what they would be used to at this point of the championship, but definitely at least a fair bit of strategy for these guys to be able to climb up the order and yeah, just kind of pick away those numbers and try and get the best result they can, because here at Spa, definitely a lot of overtaking opportunities. And look out for Sector 2 when those tyres fall off. A lot of drivers have been losing a fair bit of time, nearly almost up to a second, when those soft tyres have definitely seen better days. But yeah, we'll all unpack here at the end of lap 1 here, Isaac. I'm sure there'll be a lot of slipstream action and hopefully not too many incidents.
Well, let's go find out. We'll jump into the action right now. Let's take you to all the action live from Spa. Alright, here we go. A bit of an awkward starting position. If you are in the lower down places here, you're still in the chicane. You can see them in the background, but Axaga's going to get away well here. Our race leaders have a nice little gap over, I believe that is OGR Stealth in 6th, who was one of the first cars to fall victim to the chicane starting position. We've got cars side by side already. That is Mr. Awesome and 666 Prevails going side by side on the run up Radion. And that is a position gain for 6-6 Prevails at the start here. And they're still right with each other. And BMF Pirate Ant not too far behind. They're going to go side by side down the Camel Straight at the start of this one. And we're already getting into the action. They're wasting no time here, providing the goods side by side. Al Dusty already also right on the back of Axaga. They're going to go side by side through this one. A bit of a snap of oversteer from Axaga. And he turns into the side of Al Dusty. Thankfully, both cars managed to keep going. I don't believe that was intentional from Axaga. It looks like a bit of a snap of oversteer there, Chris. But very, very exciting start already here. And Mr. Awesome now finding himself looking at a potential second place with Axaga right in front of him.
Oh, we went from GT3 racing to Toyota 86 series here as Axaga shuts the door there on Mr. Awesome. And yeah, we saw the legs there of the Supra going up Camel Straight there, just absolutely pulling away from the AMG there. So we know the Supra seems to be the superior car coming down Camel, and these guys are still not done. We've nearly had the top 5 runners all take themselves out here on the opening lap here. I mean, guys, we just got to get through this lap here and see what else we can do. But I'm telling you right now, I mean, yeah, it's definitely most opportunity to make positions early in the race on the opening lap 1 here. But Axaga, yeah, unfortunate there, just the weight transfer in the Toyota gets on the power in second and third gear, and very easy to lose the rear there. I've done it myself and plenty of others as well. So Mr. Awesome is going to have a look here at Axaga. Axaga goes high to turn in hard on the apex here, tries to hold position, but we've got 4 cars here all approaching what seems to doesn't even feel like the opening.
Pirate Ant, whoa!
Big dive there by Pirate Ant.
And I think that is a car around, maybe?
And the rejoin looks a bit awkward as well, but these guys are playing for sheep stations.
And look at OGR Stealth done a Stephen Bradbury.
Dusty and Stealth, yes. So Stealth has come straight through and been like, the ocean is open here for me like I'm Moses. I want to take P2 from all of you guys. Irish Rebel up into 3rd spot. And this is inviting even more people into the battle here as well. And whilst all that's going down here, I was like, Axaga, our pole sitter, at the end of lap 1, dropped to down, now position 5, and definitely still hiding on here from the 2 guys behind him.
Yeah, it's someone's got to tell these guys it's only lap 2. There's still 12 laps to go in this thing. It's all kicking off early. A very nice looking Supra up the inside. And we've got Prevails and 666 Prevail just goes too deep into the corner. We'll get a little bit loose. B. Purton's going to get into the side of him as well. And I believe, I don't know.
That was a mega save.
I think he's lent off the Porsche of Purton there to catch that, and that's invited Hedges into this as well to have a look. And again, someone's got to tell these guys there is still 11 laps to go in this thing. We have barely made a dent in the race distance. But OGR Stealth and Irish Rebel, for that matter, as well, pulled off a Stephen Bradbury-esque move. And just, as you said, the seas parted for him, and he found himself up into 2nd position, and I'm sure he'll be very happy about that one. And then, as you also pointed out, Al Dusty has now, I think that's at least a 5-second gap on the cars behind him. He has taken that free gift there of whatever happened at the final chicane there, and bolted.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, you can throw tyre saving strategy out the window here, guys. Like, you might see some guys even have to jump on the mediums now for the last stints after what we just saw unfold over there. So yeah, a lot of guys here vying for position very hard very early on. So we do know the toe effect with some of these long straights here as they go through Blanchimont here is very, very strong. But I mean, this is such a high tire degradation race here. Obviously, the strategy to go for is the double soft, but those guys, they were playing out like it was the last lap here, Isaac. So hopefully everyone's figured out how to inhale and exhale here so they can get it together and start getting some pace. But yeah, Al Dusty, I mean, is his to lose at this point in time now, Isaac. We did speak about some of those other guys not having the best qualifying performances what they would have liked, but I mean, the top 4 guys there on that opening lap made it very easy for guys like Stealth and Irish Rebel to make up a bunch of positions and have to feel for us.
Yellow flag, that is Prevails.
We've got yellow flags and someone is turned around here.
That is 666 Prevails. We'll have to find out what happened there with him.
From bad to worse. Yeah, we'll have to see what happened there. But that's a very odd spot to be turned around there, Isaac. So, I mean, it's not very close to corner exit there. So maybe there was some contact, but we'll have to have a look at the replay there. But you don't see cars facing the other way, the opposite way there on that part of the track often, do you?
No, you certainly don't. As you go, Madrick is side by side with CFR Grim Death, and Isaac Fogg's going to have a look up the inside of HC Renegade. Plenty of room given by both drivers there. Beautiful piece of racing. And that is CFR Grim Death also looking up the inside and getting past Madrick there. So these guys at the back end battling for that last top 10 spot. Obviously Isaac Fogg now currently occupying it, but these guys very close together, and Prevails is not far behind. We'll also be looking to make up spots throughout the rest of this one. And now we've got Grim Death maybe having a look here at HC Renegade. He is quite close to the back of him as they come through Puon. He is not far behind at all, and Madrick is also right there. So this is...
If you just call that there, Isaac, I mean, there was a bit of sideways action there from Isaac Fogg in that Red Bull AMG there. These guys definitely carrying over some habits from Thursday night racing here, Isaac. We got full sprint spec racing at the moment. We've got off the road here onto the AstroTurf. It's going to take a very narrow apex, so it looks like he could invite Madrick in if he can do the under and under. And does he pull the move off? Not entirely sure. We'll have to see if he got it done. Maybe
they're going to go side by side.
They're going to fight for it at the moment. So he's Madrick in that beautiful GT 500 throwback Supra. He's going to take the position away. But Isaac, what this is doing, and we did see this in Lobby A at Bonza just a few rounds ago, with these guys fighting each other so hard, it just...
Whoa!
What a slide! Whoa, that was a mega save there by Grimtel. You might need a 2-stopper now, Isaac, for that one. One for tyres, the other for trunks. I think that was wild.
So we're going to have a look at what happened to Prevails coming into the first corner. He has just gone a little bit wide here, got quite loose on the AstroTurf, and the AstroTurf claims another victim as he spins. So all on his own there. Just spun at that first corner, so very frustrating for him, but he'll gas it up and try and go again and join in that pack that is in front of him. That was absolutely wild. These guys are not holding anything back as Prevails now has a look up the inside of Grim Death with those tyres that will be probably quite overheated as they go into the hairpin. Plenty of room given by both cars. Loose on the exit again from Grim Death. That Porsche is very slidey, and Prevails are going to go side by side through. I don't know how they're going to sort this one out because you can't go side by side as they come through Radion, and Prevails pulls ahead slightly with Grim Death. I think maybe just giving him that position there because I don't think anyone can go side by side. If there's anyone here that watches LJ's channel, you would have seen the short he put up earlier in the week of the ACC clip at Spa where he tried to go side by side with a bloke last week, and that ended about as well as you'd probably expect it to end. So I think these guys probably had that in the back of their minds going through a rouge on that one.
Yes. Yeah, and I would suspect these guys as well, their tyres will be looking quite second-hand. So we're at that time of the race now, Isaac, where people might potentially pull an undercut strategy here, where you kind of push in the first stint on your soft tyres and then run the soft tyre again and just race a little bit more conservatively, or do you chuck on those mediums? As watching Aksaga in a moment, looking for a move to try to reclaim what was temporarily a pole position, a little bit of rear quarter panel contact. Just hard but clean racing. A lucky Aksaga didn't turn him around. That was good presence of mind there from Aksaga, but he'll probably be very frustrated with how the start of the race played out very early on for him, just got swamped with the incidents and bringing everyone in, but he'll make this position here regardless due to the penalty that Pirate is going to serve. So yeah, wow, I mean, maybe we see some early stoppers in the next couple of laps or so here, Isaac. I mean, those guys were racing very hard early on and a lot of positions made, but you know, we're seeing the gaps opening up now, so we might see, I don't know, we'll have to see who blinks first.
Yeah, we'll watch with great interest to see if anyone blinks. I don't think they're going to blink quite yet, but the undercut, as you mentioned, can be very powerful around here. The tyre degradation is quite significant around here in terms of how much the new tyre versus the old tyre will play an advantage. But OGR Stealth, he was up into second. Mr. Awesome and Irish Rebel with that pace now find themselves ahead of him, so that OGR Stealth now down into fourth, but still a great run from him. Obviously, you know, got that nice run out of the final corner when they were all
nice. It was the cookies left on the table there, Isaac, for Stealth, so he'll absolutely be right with that. So yeah, not often do you get those opportunities, but to even just make the most of it, sometimes you get clipped as you're trying to pounce here. But yeah, our Dusty, I mean, just in a league of his own at the moment. That was really good racing early on by Mr. Awesome and Irish Rebel to capitalise on all the biff and bash happening early on. But our Dusty, 17.6, I believe. I'm not too sure. It does say 17 there, just having a bit of technical issues. Can't quite see the time clear enough. But yeah, our Dusty, I mean, just running away with it at the moment. So he now has a benefit, Isaac, of just looking back and just kind of racing his own race. He doesn't need to pull an undercut. He doesn't need to react to anyone too hard. He just needs to make sure that he covers off any kind of bold strategy with people trying to get track position on him. But now our Dusty, I mean, it's his to lose.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And yeah, as you mentioned, obviously a few technical difficulties. My internet probably isn't the best internet to handle all of this sometimes, but he is consistently in the 17s. You are right. 17.6 on lap 2, 17.1 for the fastest lap of the race on lap 3, and then a 17.2 last lap. So he is staying very consistent, and that's what he will be looking at doing, and that is what he's good at doing as well. This is the man, remember, I don't know if people remember all the way back to Fuji, that said, I am a D-rated driver, I'm probably not going to be very quick, so put me in Lobby C, and he went out that week in Lobby C and absolutely smashed
to
them.
A nuclear level there, right?
Yeah, and he...
The typical sell yourself short, and then people act surprised. But yeah, what our Dusty has the benefit now is being able to run pretty consistent. And we have the first of our stoppers before I get to that, Isaac. So it looks like we've seen Mr. Awesome, I believe it was maybe. Not too sure who
it
that
was. Yes, Mr. Awesome is in.
The first of our stoppers here, so he'll look to capitalise on some track position here, but he will struggle towards the end of that second stint, and that's the comparison I was making to our Dusty there before, Isaac, because he's taken a really consistent and conservative opening stint there. Still quite fast, by the way, but hasn't really had to lean on those tyres too much. He has the good fortune now of pitting a little bit later if he wants to, and be able to go even quicker if he wants in that second stint, because the fuel will be lower, and that does help tyre wear as well. So our Dusty, I mean, once he comes in the pit, he's going to be quite quick. But Mr. Awesome now with fresh tyres, he'll be looking to try and pounce on Stealth, and I think it was Irish Rebel there in second position as well. So we'll have to keep an eye out for him and see where it comes out.
Yes, and HC Renegade just stopped on the side of the track here. I believe he's having some technical difficulties with his... I believe it's his wheel he was having issues with there in this one. So now just sort of stopped and down the order a bit back in 13th. Prevail's also coming to the pit lane as well. So he's going for the undercut on the cars ahead of him as well. Remember, he was in that battle with Grim Death, Madrick, and Isaac Fox. So he's looking to make up places on those guys. So a little bit of gamesmanship here, as you mentioned. And a couple of cars looking to maybe make cars, maybe make other drivers think twice about their strategy and sort of start to question whether they're pitting early or staying out or what they want to do. So we'll have to see what our front runners are going to do. Obviously, Al Dusty not too concerned with the cars behind him, considering the gap you can see that he has. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see Al Dusty's dot. He's coming down towards the final chicane now, whereas our second and third place guys are still coming through Blanchemont. So there is a fair gap of probably about 8 or 9 seconds in that in that gap, sorry, between first and second. And OGR Stealth sticking with Irish Rebel here. Both these guys choosing to stay out for another lap. Axaga is also going to choose to stay out. So for Mr. Awesome, this means that he's getting more and more time on those fresh tyres to potentially gain an advantage on. And he was ahead of, remember, he was ahead of Irish Rebel and OGR Stealth before that stop. So how much more of a gap will he gain on those, and how much of an inroad can he make on Al Dusty and his lead? But B. Purton is now in, so he has stopped. L. Hedges is in. Madrick is in as well. So 3 cars in that mid-pack. These guys were about 6th, 7th, and 8th, I believe. So they are in. Tyres will go on for B. Purton. Fuel go in as well. So they're going for the undercut on potentially the cars that are around them as well.
Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, the kind of the typical time of the race here where people will kind of jump into pit lane here, and it looks like the medium tyre, and we've got a penalty here, which
that's
looks like
so frustrating.
Pit lane limits there, so that's really unfortunate there for Purton. Quite easy to do on entry, let alone exit. On exit, it can be tricky at times, but yeah, on entry can be a bit difficult. It's quite easy to jump that inside white painted line, but yeah, 3 seconds unfortunately here for Purton on the medium tyre as well, so maybe not entirely confident on the tyre saving strategy for Purton, so he'll try to look to work with his teammate here in Hedges, the PH Esports boys will just try push each other a little bit and hopefully to get a decent result. But yeah, you are absolutely right before Isaac. Mr. Awesome's going to be making some inroads here on Irish Rebel and OGR Stealth. That kind of seems to be where the race is heating up at the moment there in the podium positions. So I'm not entirely too sure the pace of Mr. Awesome, but regardless, in that Toyota Supra, he's going to be flying initially and might struggle towards the end. So maybe Irish Rebel and OGR Stealth may be aware of that. So they might be pushing a little bit longer here to have some tyres at the end towards them. But yeah, definitely a lot more relaxed now, Isaac. I can tell you that for sure. It was full sheep stations, hard racing there at the start. So looks like everyone's kind of chilled out. But now we see our race leader here in Al Dusty coming into the pit lane now. So end of lap 7 for him, and he's going to put on some fresh tyres. So Irish Rebel follows as well, and Stealth. So the top 3 runners currently coming into the pit lane.
Now Axaga's in as well.
Pretty reasonable fuel numbers, so I'm not too sure if any more people get jumped in pit lane. But yeah, we see Axaga and Pyronan as well. So we have to go jump onto Mr. Awesome here, Isaac, and see where he comes out to everyone else.
Yeah, we'll tune in to see where he is. Here he is coming through the final chicane. Fuel going in for Al Dusty now. So I don't think he's much of a threat, as Al Dusty now has more than enough fuel to get home. So he will come out. There he is coming down the front straight. Sorry, not the front straight. That's the old front straight down the hill. And there is Irish Rebel. So Mr. Awesome will come out just in front of Irish Rebel. Maybe had to put a little bit more fuel in than Irish Rebel had to, considering that Mercedes is quite good on fuel, especially around here, especially when you're in the slipstream. OGR Stealth did fall off the back of these guys a little bit as a result of that stop, but Irish Rebel, he's not far off Mr. Awesome now, and they're both going to be going after Al Dusty in this one. Everyone has now stopped except for Icer Energy, who currently leads the way. He's the only car on track left to stop in this one, and that means that we are starting to see a little bit of a post-pit stop order and the results of the undercuts. Not too many major changes in this one in terms of positions. B. Purton does have Isaac Fogg and Madrick right behind him. So there's a little bit of a battle pack going on here for the back half of the top 10, which we might stay with for a little while. But we'll also keep one eye on that battle at the front of the pack in Al Dusty, Mr. Awesome, and Irish Rebel to see if they get close. Isaac Fogg going very deep into that corner. I think Purton broke a little bit earlier than he normally does. Maybe caught Isaac Fogg out there, and that means that he is now under threat from Madrick as they went side by side down towards, I believe that was turn 11, as they now come towards Puon. And this is where Isaac Fogg has got sideways on occasion, but it's quite nice grip through there. Madrick running really well in that classic GT500 Supra. But this battle here seems to be, at the moment, on track, the closest battle that we are having so far. And I think it's about to get even closer as we come down through towards turns 15 and 16. Isaac Fogg is right on the back of B. Purton, who looks to be struggling a little bit after his pit stop, maybe not having the grip that he wants in this car. Also, remember, they are lighter on fuel load, so maybe the car just moving around a little bit more with that lighter fuel load. As we come through Blanchimont, they're going to go flat out through here, and they're all going to run a little bit wide, and that is Madrick getting quite wide on the curb, and he's managed to catch it. Oh, it's reset him all the way back there. That is unfortunate. Isaac Fogg up the inside of B. Purton, but that is unfortunate for Madrick. Just got a bit wide on the grass, and it's reset him. Isaac Fogg and B. Purton continue to go side by side down towards the first corner. B. Purton looking around the outside. Isaac Fogg up the inside. Beautiful racing from these guys. B. Purton just gives a nice bit of room, nice bit of racing room there from those guys. Pirate Ant now in 8th place as well behind these guys. But yeah, that is so unfortunate for Madrick there, Chris. Just the unfortunate resets on this game. We saw it in Lobby C as well. That there are resets in this game, and resetting you back onto track just unfortunately catch some drivers out sometimes.
Do have to say, before I mention on that one, Isaac, that was out of control by Madrick. The amount of speed he was carrying through there, that tank slapper would have been a journey for the ages there, mate. Pushing up to 280k an hour. that was out of control. But yes, the resets for track limits, harsh track limits, are they? Yeah, quite. They are quite. They're very heavy punishments when you do that. Monza's another good example. Le Mans as well, for some of those asphalt areas where you can cut the track and the car just, gets reset so far down the back end of the road there. So that's really unfortunate for Madrick in the double tow train there, and just, it takes a bit of a journey out to the AstroTurf. And that was out of control. Madrick. So,
Sorry, I was going to say, speaking of journeys to the AstroTurf there, Isaac Fogg ran quite wide through Pouon as well, so I just wanted to throw that in there, that there's a few drivers I think now just getting a bit unsettled and running it a bit wide.
Oh yeah, that was I mean, I got to say, it wasn't quite a highlight, maybe a bit of a low light there for Madrick, but that was probably as a commentator and a spectator here, quite amusing to watch, because that was that was a lot of speed there. But Isaac Fogg, with a good tyre advantage here. We know Purton did put on the medium tyre, but it's not quite over yet here. So Purton
both wide,
and the AstroTurf as well. Forget the slipstream, we're in the AstroTurf.
Here we go, and he's got on the grass. So he's made contact with the back of Isaac Fogg, and they've gone deep into the final corner. That is going to reset Isaac Fogg. And B. Purton got away without being reset there, but I think he may redress that position, because he did get on the grass, get into the back of him, and that was very messy. That's not the first time we've seen that either across this race meeting, across the lobbies. So B. Purton there just giving the position back to Isaac Fogg, and that is going to do a great deal for CLFR Grimdeath, who is in the hunt for that top 10 place. And they're going to continue to go side by side down the hill. It's not over yet. These guys pushing really hard, and that was just unfortunate for B. Purton. I think got on the grass there, which is especially in the braking zone, very easy to unsettle the car. Just meant he got sideways and wasn't able to control the slide into the back of Isaac Fogg, and it just was unfortunate for both of them there. But I think there's a lot of respect between these guys. There's been a lot of clean racing, and they'll move on from that one quite quickly. But this is someone who won't move on from quickly, is CLFR Grimdeath, who is now in the hunt. He's right behind these guys, and with both of them having a half-second slowdown penalty, he will be smelling blood in the water, because he can sense a top 10 finish on the cards if he can get past these guys. And
oh yeah, he's definitely jealous here of Isaac and Purton here. He's seeing how much fun these two are having. He said, "No, let me get in this as well, guys." So he's definitely not too far away. And those are two competitors that you're saying, Fogg and Purton, will serve a half-second penalty as well. So that was out of control there by Purton. Rear tire just gone on the grass. Bit of a tail slide, bit of a snake slide all the way up through Blanchimont to the last corner here, and just kind of lost control. But it looks like Irish Rebel is caught the back here of Mr. Awesome. So we have to keep an eye on this battle here as well, Isaac. So Mr. Awesome, we do know, pitted 2 laps earlier than Irish Rebel. So now we're at the point of the race where I think his tyres are just going to be probably not in the best nick. So he does have a top-end speed advantage, Mr. Awesome, but he's definitely going to struggle, especially in the second sector there, where there's a lot of technical corners, especially in the Supra. We did see Aksaga have a slide throughout there as well on the opening lap, Isaac. Yeah. So yeah, definitely not over here for second and third position as well. I'm not entirely sure what happened to Stealth there. I think it might have been, I know he had to put in a bit more fuel than the others or something like that, but he's lost touch there with those podium runners at the moment. Yeah, Irish Rebel, I think he can definitely sniff a second position overall here.
He very much can. He's been fairly close to Mr. Awesome, and there, that Mercedes, very strong in that middle sector. That's very good through the corners. OGR Stealth, you are right, did have to put in more fuel. That Jag is very fuel hungry. And so knew that he'd have to put in more fuel, was right on the back of these guys, but still has a fairly healthy gap at the moment to Aksaga. You can see a fair gap between those guys. So I don't think he's too worried about the car behind, and I think he might be trying to push a little bit to catch the cars in front, but they're probably just out of touch with 3 laps to go in this one. Let's have a quick look through the field now. So we've got Al Dusty leading the way in this one. Mr. Awesome, closely followed by Irish Rebel in second and third. OGR Stealth, currently sitting in 4th place at the moment. Aksaga, our pole sitter, down in 5th. Not as high up as he probably like to be, but still a nice little comeback drive from the start of this one after all that contact at the final corner. L Hedges, it's been a quiet race for him. He's one of the quiet achievers so far. He started 10th and now sits 6th. So that is really impressive from him so far to be up that high. BMF Pyrodan is in 7th with Icer Energy in 8th. Isaac Fogg still holding on to that 9th position, and CFR Grimdeath has found himself up into 10th. And Prevails, we just saw making a move up the inside of B. Purton into Puon, both battling for this 10th place. B. Purton sits in 12th, Madrick 13th, and I believe HC Renegade is down in 14th and still battling some connection issues. So a bit of a struggle for him in this one so far, but this is also where the battle is. You can see B. Purton's got the lights going behind these two. He's trying to put off Prevails maybe. But this is the battle for the top 10, Chris, and it is sheep stations here at the moment. These guys are going hard. Prevails obviously started up in 4th place and is looking to get back up the field where he can. He's right on the back of CFR Grimdeath as they go flat through the the left-hander. I've lost my left and rights. And then we come into the braking zone. CFR Grimdeath goes a bit defensive into the hairpin. But yeah, just really clean, close racing from these guys so far. A little bit squirrely on the exit for Prevails, but he can definitely, I reckon, Chris, he's definitely sniffing for that top 10 finish.
It's pretty easy to lose your bearings when the racing has been this sort of edge in your seat sort of stuff here, Isaac. The Belgian faithful here this afternoon at Spa-Francorchamps have been very spoiled for some action-packed racing here. But yeah, Prevails will be very, very keen to get at least a few positions back after he did find himself facing the wrong way down there on the endurance pit straight there around turn 1 there. So he'll look to try jump, and he might have an opportunity here because, yeah, got to say, Isaac, a lot of track limits we're seeing in this one. We know Spa can be punishable for it, but in some cases you can work your way around it. So we are seeing a lot of track limits here at the moment, and a lot of AstroTurf sort of journeys there as well. We've seen Purton what seems to write his first and last name on that AstroTurf. So he's looking to, so it looks like he might try to get the move done here, Prevails on Grimdeath before the burn penalty zone. But got to feel Prevails and Aksaga these one. Isaac, both of them, bit of a tough race here, qualified well, but just got caught up in incidents which were out of their control. So unfortunate for those two, but we'll have to see if Prevails can get the job done. And I'll be pretty keen to see how Irish Rebel is tracking at the moment, if he's able to get any closer to Mr. Awesome. We do know Mr. Awesome pitted 2 laps earlier, but regardless, I mean, Al Dusty has made sure that he rocked up tonight and let everyone know that they're racing for second, not first.
He certainly did. He certainly made sure that they were fully aware of it. We're going to go through to the end of this one now. Just over a lap to go. Your race leaders are on the final lap. CFR Grimdeath, he's going to burn the penalty. He's going to move to the penalty burn zone, which is off the racing line. and we'll let 666 Prevails go through for 10th. Only a lap to go, and I feel like Isaac Fogg's probably a little bit too far ahead for Prevails to catch him here, but he's certainly going to give it a shot. Let's check in with that podium battle, and it is quite close here. It's not over yet. Mr. Awesome, he gets 2 moves on the straight before he has to stay in a straight line, and he's used both of those with the top end speed of that Supra probably coming in clutch for him here, and meaning that he can hold on, but it's not over yet. Irish Rebel is right with him, and we know this Merc is really strong through the middle sector of this track. Al Dusty well out in front. They go side by side down in towards turn 10. They hold on to that position now for Mr. Awesome. It's not over yet though. Irish Rebel is right on the back of him. You can see he's almost glued to his bumper.
That is getting very close here, Isaac. I'm pretty sure Mr. Awesome can just get through some of these next few corners here, the back end of this second sector. He should be right, so he'll be really struggling for grip there. You can definitely see the rear end kind of just hanging out a little bit more over than usual, so he'll just have to get through these next few corners here, and he should be right, but Irish Rebel is going to fight this one right until the very end. He's staying right under his rear wing, really controlling that dirty air really well, so he'll get a bit of a pull here through this next corner, all through Blanchimont. So he's going to come down to the last corner here, Isaac, but these guys are putting on absolute clinic. But Al Dusty is about to cross the finish line sooner rather than later, I think.
Yeah,
however, these last 2 positions are not over, so Irish Rebel is going to try and make the move, but Al Dusty, our leader here, is going to come across the line P1. These guys are not done
They're
at all yet,
not
so
giving it up, but
here.
I do have to jump in here because Al Dusty, he won in Lobby C. He made his presence known that day at Fuji, and he's done it today. The lights are flashing. It means a lot to him. He wins here at Spa in Lobby B. Mr. Awesome holds on in an epic battle with Irish Rebel in this one to hold on to second spot. OGR Stealth drives his way through to 4th. Aksaga, your pole sitter, comes home 5th with a very interesting slide across the line, and it's not over yet because Icer Energy and L Hedges are still going at it here. The switchback move from Icer Energy, but he can't quite make it stick in the Jack Daniels AMG, and we'll have to settle for 7th. And it's quite a quiet race for BMF Paradent on his own, crossing the line. 666 Prevails. He tried his hardest to catch the AMG Mercedes of Isaac Fogg, but Isaac Fogg will hold on to 9th after starting 11th in this one. Prevails. A fairly frustrating race again from him today. Will come home 10th. And a bit loose there from B. Purton in the background. So he'll come across the line 12th. And Madrick rounds up the last of our finishes in 13th after what was a bit of a Mad Max / Rallycross moment coming out of turn 18. Mad Rick? No, Mad Max.
I've heard that one before.
But yes, so a lot happening in that one right up until the end, Chris. Definitely a very action-packed race. But I've got to ask you, your driver of the day, who are you giving it to this week?
I mean, to be honest, mate, it would be easy to give it to Al Dusty. That was an absolute clinic, but I think I'm going to give this one to Hedges. As you did mention, qualified in P10, finished towards the top half of the front runners there in the top 10. So that was a really disciplined and consistent race there for Hedges, and he absolutely earned the result that he got this afternoon, Isaac. So I got a shout out to the PHP Sports driver in Hedges, getting a fantastic result this afternoon here in Belgium, and I think he'll be wrapped with that one personally, I'd say. Yeah,
100%. He'll be very wrapped with that. It's been one hell of a race. There has been so much happening up and down the field. I think that's 2 weeks in a row now that we've had an elevated heart rate for almost the entire race with the battles going on up and down the field. Let's have a look at our results one more time. So by 4.5 seconds, it is Al Dusty bringing home his first Lobby B win, and certainly putting himself on the path to a lobby, possibly a Lobby A appearance, and possibly a pro upgrade as well, obviously being a Pro-Am driver. Mr. Awesome will come home second in this one, Irish Rebel in third, OGR Stealth fourth, Aksaga in fifth, L Hedges, a beautiful drive, in sixth, Icer Energy in 7th. BMF Paradent comes home 8th. Isaac Fogg finishes inside the top 10 after a bit of a difficult qualifying for him. He started 12th, comes home 9th. 666 Prevails A bit of a frustrating one for him with that spin at the exit of turn 1. But still finds himself in the top 10 at the end of this, so comes home 10th. CL5 Grimdeath, after starting last, will come home 11th. B. Purton 12th, Madrick 13th, and then obviously an unfortunate disconnect for Renegade, and he'll come home 14th. That was a lot of action up and down the field. A great race today. It's been really good to check out all the action across all lobbies. So if you haven't seen the other 2 lobbies, A and C, make sure you go and check those out. Definitely worth watching. There's been a lot of action across all lobbies in Spa this week. Chris, thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure having you back in the commentary box.
Yeah, thanks again for that one, Isaac. The gloves were absolutely off for that one, and a special shout out to Al Dusty. That great race earned him 7th overall in the overall combined results for round 6. So he's managed to upkeep a fair amount of pros who finished in the top there in Lobby A, and Mr. Awesome was 10th overall as well for the combined results. So it was a great race from those 2 guys, and yeah, I think there's more endurance happening here in the com box than there was on track there. I say, because pretty parched after that one, but yeah, the gloves were off. That was pretty surprising. The hard racing there for majority of that. So yeah, the promos here, yeah, there's definitely much to play for, and yeah, can't wait to see what happens next week. Yep,
there's definitely a lot to play for. Al Dusty now finds himself into the lead of the GT3 Pro-Am Championship as well. So definitely the gloves are off. It's not over yet. There's still 2 more rounds to go, and we take the action to Trial Mountain next week. It'll be the first GT3 round with the new physics update as well. So potentially maybe a little bit of a shake-up in the order. So definitely tune in to catch that one next week. We look forward to bringing you all the action when it happens. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I've been Isaac, and goodbye.